After a 2-year gap, some of the best amateur golfers in the world gathered once again in St Andrews for this year's Lynx trophy, and they were welcomed with sunny weather and 2 courses in absolutely magnificent condition. First up for the 144 golfers was 18 holes on the Jubilee course, where we caught up with Jack Dyer, fresh back from scoring 2 out of 3 points in a narrow defeat in the Walker Cup. And despite the current uncertainty of travel and schedules as the world continues to deal with COVID, he was determined to make the journey up to the home of golf.
I came here 2 years ago and it was obviously a fantastic week. Obviously to play at St Andrews is amazing. This point they got cancelled last year obviously with everything going on, but when it came up this year it's one that everyone loves coming up to. You know, it's quite a relaxed week. Obviously you get to play the old course 3 or 4 times if you get lucky enough to make the cut. And I just think this is a tournament that I'll always try and play into my schedule, regardless of the situation. Both the courses are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I was speaking to one of the guys the other day in the shop there. He said they've had a bit of rain lately, so it's a bit softer than usual. But yeah, both courses are very tough, very testing, and a bit of wind up as well will make it nice and fun. So you can go out there and see what happens.
Jack played nicely in what was a testing breeze, and helped by this great birdie 2 at the 5th. He finished day 1 at 4 under par, 2 shots off the lead. That lead was held by another Englishman, Charlie Thornton from Fulford Golf Club. He shot an impressive 6 under par 66. A great approach here at the par 4 15th, but what was the key to his low scoring on day 1?
I got the ball in play just about pretty much off every tee, which was obviously hugely important out there really. I hit a fair few close on the par 5s. I pretty much had an equal chance on every one. Didn't quite hole any of them, but it was really nice And then just towards the last couple, I knew I was on a decent score. And then I managed to still stick a couple close, hole a few putts and just finish the round off nicely, nice and solid.
Always nice to see your name at the top of the leaderboard. But Charlie's lead at the start of round 2 on the old course was only 1 shot. 3 golfers were tied in second place, including Richard Knightley from Ireland, who, like so many, has a special place in his heart for St Andrews.
Played Boyd Quake here as a student when I was in Trinity, so came here and it was just loved the place really, so kind of no complaints from me anyway, very enjoyable to be here.
Richard had a great time on day 1 and day 2, playing alongside former European Tour player Callum McCauley.
Great fun out there as well, which was great, and the chats were great. So, I think we all enjoyed the day, and in fairness, the weather was great, so it's hard to not enjoy it around here.
Richard shot a 1 under par 71 on the old course for his second round to start the final day's 36 holes in the final group, helped by a nice birdie here at 16. But he couldn't keep up the good form, and his challenge faded in round 3. Charlie Thornton would also shoot 1 under for his second day round on the old course, helped by this birdie on 12. It would be good enough for him to hold on to his 1-shot lead at 7 under par. Perhaps it should have been even 1 shot better. Here on the 18th, a very neat approach shot up beside the flag, but the birdie putt wouldn't drop. So who else was playing their way into contention? Well, Rory Franson would finish 5 under at the halfway point. A nice putt here on 12, leaving him a tap-in birdie on his way to a 2 under par 70. George Burns knows how it feels to win on the old course, having won the St Andrews University run Boyd Quake in 2016. This putt at 9 was for an eagle, but he would have to settle for a birdie here, and would also be at 5 under at the start of the final day's play, alongside Josh Hill. The youngster hit the headlines last year after winning on the professional MENA circuit, qualifying for 2 European Tour events along the way. He would look to add to his list of titles here on a breezy old course at the home of golf.
Playing the old course is something about every hole you walk around and just every hole feels special. I mean, obviously 17, 18 is special in itself, but every hole feels special because of how big the place is, and it's such a great place. I think it's good conditions. I feel like I'm control the ball well in these conditions, and yeah, I don't mind wind. I I don't mind whatever. I'm just playing what we got. Everyone's got to play the same, so I'm not really bothered with what the conditions are. But yeah, I'm quite happy with a little bit of wind.
Experience can count for a lot here on the old course as well, as George Burns, who birdied the 18th on his second round, can testify.
Anytime you play the old course is just awesome, especially when the weather's nice, but I'd had a kind of dodgy couple holes, so to bird 18 was especially nice, but yeah, I love it. I feel like these courses, are, especially the old, experience helps a lot with knowing where to hit it and things like that, so I'm feeling quite comfortable out here, and it's my favourite golf course, so looking forward to going again. The fairways are running nice and firm and fast as you like, so can't ask for more really.
A tricky putt to save par on the first for George, and he was on his way for the day. His first birdie would come at the 6th after this approach, and he would remain near the top of the leaderboard as the day progressed. Jack Dyer here with a nice birdie at 9 in his morning round. He would stay in contention until the latter stages, but 6 under par for the tournament was good enough for 10th spot. Josh Hill would have an up and down third round. A good putt at 6 here, but that was for a bogey. He too would birdie the 9th with a solid putt right at the flag, but he shot 2 over for his morning round. Work still to do in the afternoon if he was to stay in contention. So could anyone come through the field? Well, Scott Wormleighton had a great run in his morning round. A birdie here at 12 would help him to a 5 under 67. He would reach 9 under for the tournament with 8 holes to play, but would drop 6 shots in 6 holes on his final round back 9. Ruben Lindsay was on a charge, well, at least until the cameras caught up with him. Making it to the Sunday on the cut mark of 2 over, he shot a 4 under 68 in the morning and was 7 under for the tournament, playing the 17th, where his massive drive sailed over the Old Course Hotel into the rough. A par was saved with a nice up and down after coming up short. On the last, his drive rebounded off the steps behind the green of the 360-yard par 4. A good old-fashioned bump and run onto the front edge of the green, but he wouldn't convert that birdie chance. But posting at 7 under, he certainly wouldn't be getting in the car to head home to Ayrshire just yet. There would be another 11 groups through the last before anyone would beat Ruben's score. Jack Cope had this eagle putt to finish at 9 under after a bogey-free final round. But the current English amateur champion would have to settle for a birdie on the 18th for the 3rd time in a row, and settle down to see if anyone could match his 8 under total. And as you can see from the leaderboard behind the last, there were plenty who could. Josh Hill was getting closer. A birdie here at 6 would move him to 6 under for the tournament, and 2 more would follow on 13 and 15. Callan Barrow was 9 under on 16 and looking for his second win in 2 weeks. That was after picking up the Scottish Amateur Stroke Play title last weekend down at Southerness. His approach fell short though, and he would take a bogey here and at 17 to finish 1 shot short on 7 under. Playing partner Sam Bairstow needed an eagle on the last to match the 8 under target, and he gave himself a great chance with a pin-high drive. It wasn't to be though, and he too would finish on -7. Robin Williams was also at 7 under by the time he reached the road hole, where he produced a brilliant up and down from the path to stay on that score, heading up the last. The crowds were gathering, and they would see Williams make this birdie putt to match Jack Cope at 8 under par, and could we be heading for a playoff? Maybe, or maybe not. George Burns had left himself a lot of work to do to save his par here on 17 and also stay at 7 under. He too would give himself a chance at eagle to finish the tournament at 9 under after another big drive. A tap-in birdie it was though, and we now had 3 players tied at the top with their 4th rounds finished. Rory Franson was also at 7 under playing the last. His drive found the edge of the Valley of Sin though, and that proved to be an awkward putt, and he couldn't manage a birdie. 7 under for the tournament. Playing partner Josh Hill. Well, he had been 8 under but dropped a shot on the 17th. Could he sink this birdie putt to match the 3 other golfers on -8? Not quite, but the future looks bright for Josh, and we'll hopefully see him back here next year. So what about the man who'd led the tournament since round 1? Well, Charlie Thornton was 7 under as well on the 17th, but after overshooting the green would drop back another shot, not quite managing the putt back in for par. That meant that he had to eagle the last to make it a 4-man playoff. After coming up short of the green with his drive. This was a great effort, but it wasn't quite to be, and he would join the group of 6 other golfers, 1 shot away from the chance of playoff glory. So as the crowds gathered, we had George Burns, Robin Williams and Jack Cope in a 3-way playoff, sudden death, playing down the first. Bad news for George, his approach had found the water. Realistically, he would need to hold this chip for his par 4 to stay in with a chance. It wasn't to be. Robin Williams and Jack Cope both got pars, so they would head up to 18 to carry on. Now, this was for a birdie, and that was a great putt from Robin Williams because he knew he had to make it. Jack Cope's putt wasn't exactly a gimme, it was kind of Doug Saunders territory, for those old enough to remember that, but he held his nerve and we were back down the first again. Another 2 pars meant that we were back up 18, so the 4th sudden death playoff hole, and Jack Cope now playing the 18th for the 5th time this weekend, alongside Robin Williams, but Jack had driven the green every time, and what another magnificent tee shot. Look at that, pin high, and the pressure was really on Robin Williams because he pulled his drive, only just staying in bounds, way over to the left, in front of the first tee. And after seeing Jack's drive, well, he would be thinking an up and down would be the very minimum needed to keep this playoff going. Jack Cope had birdied 18 4 times already this weekend, looking to break that run with an eagle to win the tournament. Not a bad effort, and just right next to the hole, and that meant that once again Robin Williams had a tough birdie putt that he needed to hole if he was to keep things going. What an effort, just catching the edge but not dropping. And finally, could we see an end to this year's Lynx Trophy after 40 holes on the old course on this Sunday? Yes, we could. Another birdie for Jack Cope, and a very worthy champion. Fantastic spectacle for the fans, and our 2021 Lynx Trophy champion, Jack Cope.
I was committed to every shot I hit out there over those 4 holes, and I probably played the best golf tee to green I played all week in those 4 holes, so I guess that was a nice time to really peak. I know I'm capable of shooting 2 good scores to push myself up there, and as well as my caddy helped me a lot as well, in terms of he was very, very motivational and kept telling me I'm hitting great shots, putting great swings in it, and sort of little things that I guess you just need to keep hearing when you sort of think things might be going your way at times. So I mean, that all really paid off. I love the home of golf. I mean, I'm at university in Scotland for 2 years, and I played around all the courses here. I particularly like the old course, mainly because I normally score right round there, which helps. But I guess it's just quite special. You walk over that bridge, and I'm taking photos now on that bridge, and you think, who's sort of won here and played here and walked over that and posed here. So this is very, very special to me.